Welcome to another episode of Tokyo Vlog. Now for this episode, we're going to talk about how I feed my goldfish Tubifex live food, like Tubifex worm. So there are basically two ways to feed Tubifex worm properly for goldfish or any other fish. So the two methods are using this what you call this feeding cone. You can buy this in any pet shop or fish shop, and also using this type of like a bowl, or for this example I'm using a chicken feeding pot. So you can also use a bowl if you have any bowl that you're not actually using. So for this example, of course, a Tubifex worm needs a container inside your aquarium before before feeding your goldfish. There are reasons for that, and one reason is that when you feed the Tubifex worm without the container, the Tubifex worm can actually get scattered around the aquarium, or your filtration will be sucking in the Tubifex worm, and that's not actually good because it might affect the water quality of your aquarium. So it's best to use this containers in feeding your goldfish, right? So I will show you how I do this or how I feed this, but of course before that we need to know first when to feed our goldfish with live food, with this type of live food. For this example, we'll be using the Tubifex worm. So for me, I'm actually using the Tubifex worm, or I'm feeding the Tubifex worm during nighttime after they have been able to consume any dried pellets or steamed egg fish food. So the reason is that when, of course, this is from my experience, the reason is that the Tubifex worm can affect the appetite of your goldfish, especially when they're eating. So if you put in Tubifex worm when they're eating the pellets or the stem egg, the result will be is that they won't have any appetite to eat the stem egg or the dried pellets. So it's best to separate the feeding schedule for the live food and the pellets or the stem egg. So now I'm going to show you how I feed the Tubifex worm in two methods, right? So for this example, I'm going to show you on how I feed them in both methods, in this tank right here and here. So in this tank right here, I'm going to show you how I feed them through the pot, and in the other tank, right, I'm going to show you how I feed them through the what you call this, the feeding cone. Okay, so now we have set up the container for the Tubifex worm. Right here, the feeding cone. You can put it at the top portion, and also here the pot for the Tubifex worm. So we will now get it from our container. So I've actually shown you in the last video and how I store my Tubifex worm. So we're going to get it. So It's okay to use bare hands in getting the Tubifex worm because they're not they're actually bind together, so it can actually be uh, just like that. It can actually be handled by bare hands. So what I do also is that I make sure to get only what my goldfish needs during the night time, so what they can consume during the night time. So for this example, because you can see here, you have to see that the fixed worm right there. So for this example, we're going to place it inside, right inside the pot, right there. Okay, so once the goldfish is aware of the Tubifex worm, they will start to swarm in and eat the Tubifex worm, right? So for the other one, of course, the same method. We're going to use bare hands in getting the Tubifex worm. I apologize for it's actually dark, so you can't see how much I am getting. So right here, again, just enough for them to consume during the night. Okay, and then we put it inside our feeding cone. Okay, so as you can see there, the goldfish is already starting to munch in the Tubifex worm. By the way, this cone has small small holes in them, so that the Tubifex worm can actually, you see that it can actually go through it, and their tip or their head or their tail can go outside, so the goldfish can actually eat them while they're exposing themselves, right? So as you can see, they're already starting to eat the Tubifex worm inside. So the advantage of having this pot right here is that the Tubifex worm will stay where they are rather than being tossed around, and you know, they might get sucked in the in your filtration. So this is also one way to have your Tubifex worm, or feed your Tubifex worm to your goldfish. So if I were to choose from these two methods of feeding, I would choose the feeding cone for two main reasons. One is that the feeding cone doesn't really consume space beneath the aquarium, so it's much better to, you know, to place them, and also it gives the goldfish a chance to eat equally, because if you choose the pot right here, sometimes there are goldfish that are very dominant eaters, and they tend to feed a lot than the others, so the other goldfish might lag when it comes to growth, right? So I choose the feeding cone rather than the pot right here. So I think that's it for this episode, and I hope you liked it and learned something from it. And for those who haven't subscribed yet, you can click the subscribe button below for more updates on our latest videos. So that's it. Good night and happy fish keeping.